start? Yeah. We do things at home. We have a little studio, and sometimes he forgets to start them. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. So we are here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, and I'm Audrey Schrift. Audrey Leach was my maiden name. And I am here with my cousin, who is my mother, Mary Lou Serpico's first cousin. And her name is Audrey Sikkema. So I'm going to ask Audrey to start to tell us some things like, Audrey Sikkema is your married name. What was your maiden name?
Russo.
Audrey Russo. Audrey Russo. And who were your parents, Audrey?
My parents were Dan and Yolanda Russo. My mom's maiden name was Gandini.
Gandini.
Yeah.
And do you know about your parents? Were they born in the United States?
My mom was born in Rome.
In Rome.
And my dad was born in the United States.
Okay. And how did they meet?
They met through church.
Through church.
Mm-hmm. They're Young People's Society.
Okay. And what town was that?
Montclair, New Jersey.
Montclair, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And when did they get married? Do you think, approximately?
You know, that escapes me the date.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
But they were young, probably.
Oh,
People
yeah.
got married, like, out of high school, maybe shortly after
They
that.
were in, like, the Young People's Society at church.
Okay, so Yolanda and
Daniel.
Daniel, okay. And they continued after they got married in Montclair.
New Jersey.
Okay. And what year were you born?
1932, November.
November 1932. Okay.
The 25th, to be exact.
The
November 25th.
Kind of a Thanksgiving child.
Yes.
Okay.
I was born with the turkey.
Actually, Allison was born around Thanksgiving. Allison Walsh Serpico, who was my cousin Daniel's daughter. She was a Thanksgiving baby. So tell me about your youth. You stayed in Montclair and lived there
Pretty much, and then I moved to Bloomfield, New Jersey, and graduated from high school in Bloomfield.
Bloomfield, New Jersey, right next door to Montclair.
Montclair, yeah.
Okay. And as I understand it, they were rivals?
Football rivals.
Football rivals.
And my dad rooted for Montclair, and I rooted for Bloomfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were rivals at Thanksgiving time when we had the football games on Thanksgiving, which was the big game.
The big game,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we had Winchester and Woburn were our rivals. What did your dad do for work?
He was a banker in New York City, the Bank of New York.
Bank of New York. Interesting.
For years. Yeah.
So that's so he was from America, but Italian heritage. And so that was a good job for him.
Oh,
then.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in charge of the vault.
In the vault. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you were born, and you don't have any siblings?
No.
No? So you were an only child. So tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, my younger years were all spent in Montclair, New Jersey, where I was born.
Okay.
And then just before high school, we had moved to Bloomfield, New Jersey, which was the next town, kind of. And then I graduated from high school there. And then after that, I went to business school, also in Montclair.
Okay.
And then I got a job with New Jersey Bell Telephone.
Oh, back when the bells were...
Yeah. And then after that, then I got married. And then the rest is history.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were working kind of as a secretary or administrative work during the business school.
Yeah.
We've just had someone arrive into the house, which is the youngest son of Audrey.
This is Brian.
Brian
This
can
is my
come and
youngest
say,
son.
we can get Brian's face on camera. This is Hollywood here. I'm Audrey, who I was named after your mom, Audrey. Mary Lou was my mother, who was Audrey's...
Mary Lou, my cousin Mary Lou, and Daniel. This is his mom.
Yeah.
Or her mom.
Yeah, that was my mom. So I'm the oldest in my family, Audrey. And I looked your mom up because when my dad died, I had some notes from Yolanda and from Audrey about my dad Albert passing. And I just was like, what was Audrey's last name? Oh, Sikkema. Okay, let me try to find her online. Like, what's the story? Oh, she's in Florida. All right, let me find her. Maybe she's still here, maybe she's not. And sure enough, I called Audrey, and she's like, here I am. I'm 91. I'm still living in the house. Fred died 6 years ago? Did you say?
7.
7.
Excuse me.
Okay, no problem. We got a phone ringing, and we'll just do a pause, and we'll come back to this, okay?
Hello?
Okay, and we're back. Sorry, I had to move something over here. In fact, I should do this so my phone doesn't ring. We're back after a commercial break for the virtual golf business that is going to be soon in between Lakewood and Tampa and Naples, Florida. We were just chatting with Audrey, and she was telling us about her youth and that you went to secretarial school and you worked for a while for New Jersey Bell, and then you got married. And how long after you got married did you have your first child? Was it fairly soon you got?
Yeah. Probably a year.
Year or so. Okay. And you have a total of how many children?
6.
6 children.
5 boys, 1 girl.
5 boys and 1 girl. Wow.
It was 4 boys first, then the girl, and then the boy.
The boy to top it off.
This is my youngest.
The youngest, Brian, that just came in, is the youngest. So let's go with their names. John is your oldest.
Doug is second.
Doug is second.
Then Greg.
Greg.
Or Gregory.
Gregory.
Ronald.
Ronald.
Then Linda, my daughter.
Linda.
And then Ronald. Brian.
Brian. So my husband Douglas has a brother Brian. And my husband Douglas had 5 other siblings. And his mother, Wilma, used to say, Douglas, Brian, Eric, whoop. Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you've done that.
I've done that.
Okay. So let's see. Tell me how you first met my mother, Mary Lou. Like, were you children and knew each other? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your first memory of playing with your cousin Mary Lou?
Oh, yeah, we were both young. I don't recall the age, but we played young, and then we used to go to the shore because Aunt Rose and Uncle Neil had a bungalow at Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Okay.
And they used to take us every summer. So we spent the summer, well, Mary Lou maybe not quite as long as I was there, but we were there together often for quite some time. Yeah.
And you had told me earlier that you would be there like for the whole summer sometimes.
Yeah.
Because your parents were working. And
where Mary Lou was not as much, because she didn't have the same time frame that I did. But whenever available, then it was both of us there together in Point Pleasant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you were born in 32. And Mary Lou was born in 33. So you were a year older than her. But you were very, very close in age.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the things you did in New Jersey? What maybe it changed from your very young childhood? Was your favorite beach or shop or ice cream or things you did when you were younger? And then my second part of the question is like the teenage years and what that was like.
Yeah, the teenage years, I had close friends. We were, like, we call it a club. But it was like 6 of us. And then we used to do a lot of sports stuff together, and, we were very close-knit, that bunch. Sorrowfully, there's only 2 of us left, my one friend and myself.
And what was her name?
Jean.
Jean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just Jean and I left.
And where does Jean live now?
Jean lives in Florida also, but she's on the East Coast.
On the East Coast of Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So were there like groups of boys hanging out that you met, like friends from high school or guys that you met in and around the shore? You go to the shore in the summer and you're prancing around.
No, mostly from high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple summertime friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the close ones were really from high school.
From high school.
And we kind of stayed together, that whole group.
Yeah. And
So-
how long a drive was it from where you were in Bloomfield or Montclair down to
An
Point
hour and a
Pleasant?
half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Depending
not
on
bad.
traffic.
Right.
Garden State Parkway, back and forth many times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And was it, were there amusements and rides and things? Or
Oh,
was
yeah.
It, yeah?
Yeah.
There
And the
was
boardwalk.
the whole boardwalk.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my husband's family used to go to, well, I had a friend, Avalon comes to mind, Avalon,
Yeah.
New Jersey,
Okay.
which wasn't too far from where they would go.
And
So
it
and
wasn't far from Point Pleasant either.
Yeah, probably not.
That's
Yeah,
where we
there was-
went. And Asbury Park.
right, Asbury Park, Wildwood was
Yes,
another
yeah,
place down in, so that
yeah.
all wasn't that far.
No.
So the shore at that time, when you would go down there for things to do, there were what, arcades?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and
Arcades and the boardwalk.
the boardwalk, the beach, hot dogs,
Oh, yeah.
fried dough, onion rings.
And we used to go to Jenkinson's. They had the foot-long hot dogs.
Oh, and how much were they then? Do you remember? Like
Oh, jeez. Under $2.
under $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
great deal. Was there like a frozen
Custard.
fro-
Coors.
frozen custard? Coors?
Coors frozen custard.
Coors frozen
Yeah,
custard.
KOHR, whatever it was named.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all over the shore.
Okay, yeah, frozen custard is what my husband also remembers.
Remembered? Yeah.
Yeah, so different than ice cream, just the
Yeah.
frozen custard, and it comes in
Yeah,
swirled
uh-huh.
vanilla or chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah, a different kind
Yeah.
of thing. Wow. Were there movies? Was there a movie house down
Yeah,
there?
there was, I think, two. One in town and I think one not too far from the boardwalk. So,
Wow.
and of course all the boardwalk fare, you know, they had all the booths and the, you know, archery places that you can
Yeah.
shoot the things and win some kind of junk
Yeah.
prize, you know.
Sure, yeah, a little stuffed animal
And then
or
they had the
trinkets.
pizza places, which was very popular on the boardwalk,
Oh, yeah.
like
good.
the frozen custard.
Yes.
Same type of,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, yeah, good slice
Yeah,
of pizza.
yeah.
Could you go in your bathing suit into these places?
Oh, yeah.
it
And they
was
had
very
outside, too. You could just go up to the counter and order outside and
Right.
back on the beach if you wanted to
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
And I remember Wildwood Beach was very, very long to get to the water. You had a lot of beach.
Yeah, yeah.
The tide wasn't as apparent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was there any piers that went out, or just
Yeah,
mostly
there was a couple of piers, but they were further than like we were.
Yeah. Was there a favorite restaurant in Point Pleasant?
Mostly Jenkinson's, because a lot
Yeah.
of people, and then there was Chi-Chi's, which was the pizza place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, CICI.
Oh, yeah. Italian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was a Cafe Chichi in Santa Rosa, California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was his name, Luca Chichi, or he was from Italy, and it was a little Italian cafe.
Uh-huh.
I remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
So the mixture of people and your friend group, I remember my mother telling me, like in her high school in Montclair, there was a lot of black
Oh, yeah.
kids and white. It's just
And,
a big mixture.
Everybody got along. There
Everyone
was
got along.
nothing like they talk about today, the segregation, you can't do it. We had none of that.
Right.
You know,
it didn't matter
it
what
was
color
all
your
a
skin
big
were.
bunch.
Yeah.
You know?
You were all just
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
and-
had a lot of fun on the boardwalk, off the boardwalk. No such thing like all you hear in this junk today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad.
So things kind of have changed a little, and
Yeah.
we the town I grew up in, Winchester, where Mary Lou and Albert lived. We didn't really have that many black. It was a very upper middle class suburban white town with a lot of professionals that went into Boston. But I remember there was a house we had that they took in kids from inner city schools that didn't have a lot of opportunity, and they would go to school in high school and live in a home with a house mom and dad. So that was and there was just like a couple, you could just sort of say how many black people were there in Winchester, but like Bloomfield and New Jersey, it was just really a mixture, and you all got along.
Montclair and Bloomfield, never problems.
Yeah.
There was no rift between black or white or whatever. Everybody just got along.
Got along. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and crime, it was safe. There wasn't any gangs or anything like that. Yeah.
Not that I remember.
No.
That was,
No.
like,
Yeah.
oh.
So that whole thing of New Jersey too, because there was a lot of Italians that were in the area. I don't know if there were other nationalities, like maybe Irish,
yeah.
Irish, Polish. I don't know, just maybe
We
whoever
have,
came.
we have that mixture.
Yeah, because you got your New York, and just there's a lot of work that people that came there. So, what was Fred's work? Your husband's work?
He was in milk industry.
The-
He delivered, well, He delivered milk and also worked in the dairy.
In the dairy.
Yeah, yeah.
So were there, was it South Jersey Cows and Dairy that the milk for that company was supplied? Or
there was a dairy farm which his uncle owned in Wayne, New Jersey, and he did work there for a while, but he had his own milk route for years.
Oh, and so I do remember in Winchester as a child that there was the white outfit, the white hat, driving the white truck, the little 6-pack of quarts of milk in glass with a little waxed top that went on them. And the milkman would come and drop them, and he would take your empties. So you would maybe order if you wanted cream or sour cream or something, or eggs.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, my husband did that for a long while.
A long while. And was it an early morning route? You'd have to get up early?
Yeah.
And you had customers, and then they would have to pay the company for their dairy that was delivered. Now, was there dairy in markets, or were the markets just... not so much supermarkets like we have today, but just smaller markets?
But they carried the dairy products too, so those that didn't have a milkman, what's called a milkman, then, they went to the stores for their dairy. Yeah,
so people that were on the route, you had to be in a route probably, live in a delivery route, and the reason that you might choose was that maybe better quality or fresher
and
or
some convenience. They didn't have to go out to the store
to get the milk, right?
Yeah. So
wow. Yeah. So he would have like an early route. And then he would come back and get dinner and see the kids and go to bed early and wow.
That was the routine.
Yeah. Wow. What? Let's see. So did you ever work after your first job did you just stay home and raise your children for those years? That was kind of more the traditional route. My mother did too. Mary Lou, I remember she worked in a bank initially, I think in Montclair, and then wanted to get in the airlines.
So I remember that,
So do you remember what airline? You may or may not remember.
No, I don't.
Eastern.
Oh, yes.
Eastern Airlines. So from what I remember, she told me that she had to do the training. She was accepted, and she got stationed. You have to get based somewhere. So she was based out of New Jersey somewhere. And Eastern was just more of a regional airline, back in the day. So then her father, Louis, had moved from the Cape with his wife, Mary Russo, which is how we're related on Mary's side, my grandmother's side. They were living on Cape Cod and running a guest house, the 100 House, on the Cape near Craigville Beach. And then Louis had an auto accident and had injured his leg and was in a cast, and it was quite a long recovery. And what I remember my mother telling me is that she put in for a transfer. So she was able to get transferred from being based in New Jersey to Boston. So she was based in Boston then. I don't know if you remember at all.
I remember a little bit of that.
Because, as time goes on, I never met Audrey until today, but I knew of Audrey. And so I remember things like boxes of boys' clothing coming from my younger brothers that you would send to your cousin. Here's some, my boys grew out of these. You have 2 little boys. Let me send you these clothes. But so that's how my parents met. That my mother was stationed, flying out of Boston, and she was living in Winthrop, and she met my dad on Craigville Beach in Cape Cod because she was down visiting her parents, living in the 100 House, and my dad was there for the summer with friends from Northeastern University with a bunch of guys renting a house, and one of the guys was from California. And had a surfboard, and they were doing some kind of, let's check out this surfboard in that little Atlantic Ocean that doesn't have many waves. And my mom, being the friendly person that she was, do you remember Mary Lou?
Oh, yeah.
Social and chatty and friendly. She goes up, what's going on? And starts chatting with these guys, and met my dad, and they kind of maintained their relationship, and they ended up getting married on the Cape, in Cape Cod. Do you remember that? Did you go to the wedding? Were you able to go?
No, I don't believe I did.
That would have been 1958, September.
Yeah. Now, I remember the wedding, but I don't remember being there.
Yeah, you remember maybe the pictures, So Yeah, I just, the whole New Jersey relatives and some of the, the ancestors. Did you, were as a child, I didn't remember much of them, but tell me about your mother's sisters and brothers. Did they all stay in the New Jersey area? Did you know them?
My mother had the one sister, Dolores.
Okay. Dolores.
Yeah. And she lived in Waldwick, New Jersey.
Okay.
Which was not far from where my mom was, and they did go back and forth.
Okay. They stayed in touch.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that was the only sister my mom had.
Okay.
She didn't have any brothers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what was, do you remember what Yolanda's parents' names were?
Yeah, her mom was Genoffa, in Italian, Genoffa, which we used to call her Janine, but that wasn't right. She hated that. She said, that's not my name. Genoffa was Genoffa. I said, who?
Genoffa.
Yeah.
It's almost like Genevieve in French or something.
Yeah, because in English she was known as Genevieve.
Oh, yeah, but Genoffa.
Yeah,
okay.
Genoffa. She used to say, Genevieve isn't my name. I said, well, yes, Grandma, it's the English version, she said.
Oh.
Anyway, and then, and Gandini, of course, was her married name.
Okay.
So, Braulio was her maiden name.
Braulio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and she had brothers. She didn't have a sister.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And were they from Rome also? Like that side of the family?
I don't know originally where, because my mom was born in Rome.
Your mom was born in Rome?
Yeah, she was born in Rome, and I'm trying to think of where Auntie Del was born. And I don't think she was born in Rome. I think they had come to the States.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
and then she was born in the States.
Yeah.
So.
But her mother would have been from Italy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They were, in Rome. Because Naples, I know that the Serpicos, they tracked, Dan and Sal Serpico did do many trips to Italy, and they tracked the Serpico name. Mm-hmm. Now, there's probably a lot of Russos, too, so in terms of diving into it. But it was the Naples area, and the small town, kind of. So it was definitely south, not northern Italy.
Yeah.
And have you ever done an ancestry test where you do the DNA, the saliva?
No.
That's really fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a really fun thing. And it actually, with the science they have nowadays, they can just track different relatives and trace your DNA.
How about
so
that?
I know that for me, it's mostly southern Italy and the Baltics, because my dad was from Lithuania. And then a little bit of northern Italy. So between North and South Italy, there's probably some migration. And I have 2% Jewish heritage.
How about that?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
My mom was more northern Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know about the rest of the family because we never did that.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you know how your mom met? Oh, you said your mom and dad met in the youth church.
Yeah.
But then the next generation back, they probably met in Italy, probably, if it was your mom's.
Yeah, that
parents.
was Italy. Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Italy?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
When was that?
3 years ago, 4 years ago, with my son Ron and his family.
Okay.
Yeah.
What parts did you see?
We went to a couple of different places. I'm trying to think now. I have pictures and I put them all away, but
yes.
We went to.
Did you see the Vatican or Rome?
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we saw the Pope come out because he only came certain times.
Yes.
Yeah. And we did see that. And where else were we in Rome? Oh, a couple different places, but it was so interesting. It was really nice to say you were even just there, you know.
So much history.
Yeah.
So,
that was a good trip.
Yeah.
That was about 3 or 4 years ago, I guess now. Went with my son Ron and Pam and the family.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
yeah, it was nice.
Well, that was going to be my next question, to tell me about your children and where they live and how many children they have. So let's...
I had the 6.
You had 6 children.
5 boys and 1 girl.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned their names, so let's just kind of go through the, down to like their grandchildren and what they're doing and all. So, yeah.
Well, John, let's see. John had 4. But
Okay.
2 boys, of course, committed suicide.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sad.
And then he has 2. Steve, who's in this area.
Okay.
And then he has Jake, who's in the service.
Okay.
But
Deployed and
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Doing that as a career.
Whatever kind of title he has, but some title. I said to him not too long ago, I was talking to him, I said, "You're Jake to me, I don't care what your titles are."
Yeah.
He said,
Sergeant
"Grammy,"
Major this or that.
He said, "Grammy, you're Grammy, so it's okay."
Yeah.
I said, "Good." Yeah, that's John's boys. And then Doug, my son in Pennsylvania, has, let's see, he's got Kelly, and, well, he's got 3. And they're all there where he is. And then Greg, who's here, he has 2 boys live here also. And then Ron has, well, Trevor, he's here most of the time. He's here, really, this is his official home. Trevor and Lexi, who's here. Both not married, so they are home. And then, let's see, then that's Ron's. And then Greg has 2 boys who live here in the area. And then we have Ron, whose children are here also, son and daughter. And then Linda, my daughter, who lives in Tampa, and she has the 3 children, a daughter and 2 boys. They live in the Tampa area as well. And then, well, no, Priscilla doesn't anymore. She's an attorney, and she's in Orlando, I think, because she just moved to practice.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, then there's Greg, and his 2 boys are here, and Ron, boy and girl, here. And then my daughter, who I just said, and then Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, and he's got 3, and they're here.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
And that's a familia.
La familia.
Yeah. And for me, from an only child, I thought, woo, I got all these kids.
Did you want to have a big family, or was it just kind of how it worked out?
Yeah, it just kind of worked out that way. I don't know. And because I remember praying, I said, because I had the 4 boys, and I said, "Lord, could I have a girl? Maybe a girl?" Please. I'm just praying, please, a girl. And sure enough, I had a girl. Yeah. And then Brian.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I got the one girl.
She's the cream in the middle of
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so she always sees, I'm special, Mom, because I'm the only girl. I said, yeah, I know.
How did she deal with all those brothers growing up?
You know, it was funny, because I thought she would be a tomboy.
Yeah.
She was not.
No.
They tried to make her a tomboy.
Were they into sports
and
boy
and
things?
It didn't work. It didn't work. The more they tried to get her into all this ball stuff, the more she drew away from it.
Was she more academic and more like studies and just more?
Yeah, she wasn't too crazy for sports, but you know, they tried to make her that.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't work.
Uh-huh.
I said to her, stay girly.
Yeah.
Enough with the boys.
Right.
So, but it's nice. And now she has 1 daughter and 2 boys.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's funny how it works.
So, are there any great-grandchildren? Or
yeah, I have the great-grandchild here.
Okay.
Yeah. She's my special precious pumpkin. I always kid her. Because as an infant, in fact, it's Brian's youngest daughter.
Yeah.
And I babysat her from an infant because they worked. My daughter and son-in-law both worked. Yeah. And I said, I'm home, because they were going to put her in nursery. I said, no way, I'm home, I'm taking care of her.
Yay!
So, yeah, we're really close.
What's her name?
Bryn. B-R-I-N. Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah.
And how old is she now?
She's 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's local, so she's in the high school realm of things.
Yeah.
And,
smart, really smart. All straight A's.
Wow.
Very good in music, and whatever she touches, she's all A's. And you'd never know it. You know, I said, poor Brittany, you do really well. She said, yeah. Like somewhat, you know.
Wow.
So she's not cocky at all, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, they can be snooty. Oh, no, she's far from it.
So do you reflecting back when you were raising your 6 kids and in the day, like, did you have a backbone? Maybe it was the church or youth groups, or like, how did you manage to do your best to raise good kids? You know, what, any tips
Mostly
or
the
things?
church, because I was very active in the church. I sang in the choir for years.
And this is a Catholic church?
No, Reform.
Reform,
Yeah.
okay.
And so, you know, I was very active there, sang in the choir for years and so forth and so on. So the kids were in all the activities there, plus school activities. So that was the whole core at that time, so which was good.
Right, and there weren't the cell phones and all the things
No,
that
they didn't have that.
distract.
Yeah,
And
no cell phones then.
yeah.
Now they all have them, but
Right.
you know.
I know.
Yeah.
We can see even just in my generation with my 24 and 22-year-old, like it was a big deal. Like, okay, we're going to wait till you're 12 or 13, and then you'll have just a simple phone for emergencies. And they had all these games that they could connect with each other, like a DS machine player and stuff back and forth. Like there'd be a school bus trip, and they're like, "Oh, DS." And now it's just so.
I know. Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah, and then. How was the pandemic for you? That's like kind of a measuring point for a lot of people in your age bracket, or just, you know, where and how it affected you for those years and period. Did you stay home and were you really careful? Did you get a vaccine or not? Or
no, I really didn't, and
Yeah?
I had I was really at home, you know, and so
right, and you had minimal contact with the public and all. So you were able to maintain.
Because like a lot of my friends and everybody said, you know, did you get the shots? And whether I said, I don't get shots.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
They say,
maybe when you were a child they did. For sure. But
So they said, what are you made of? I said, I don't know, but I don't have shots. Did you get the flu shots because of my age and whatever? I said,
So your heritage, you know, some of it's genetic and some of it is what you do with your life that keeps you in good shape. Can you attribute anything to your 91? You're going to be 91 in June.
I am 91.
You are 91.
I'll be 92 in November.
In November, okay. So what do you attribute to you? What would you say are the secrets to a long, healthy life?
I don't know. I think some of it's genes. My grandma lived 108.
108?
And she never saw a doctor. That's my mom's mom.
Your mom's mom.
Mom, yeah.
Which is?
My grandma, which is, well, she was Gandini, her
Gandini.
marriage name.
Okay.
But her maiden name was Broglio.
Okay.
Yeah.
108. Wow.
And healthy 108. She was not sickly. You know?
Yeah.
She was,
working and doing things and able.
And she was in the, fabric industry in New York City.
Okay.
She was a seamstress.
Seamstress, yeah. That was a common
job. And she was such a seamstress. She would sew like a hem. I used to always say, Grandma, hem this for me. She said, you can do that. I said, no, not like you. Every stitch was the same size.
Yeah.
I tell you, but anyway, that's what they did, you know. And she worked in the garment industry, and and that was on her feet from the time you went in till you went. And then she used to take the bus because they lived in Hiawatha, Lake Hiawatha in New Jersey. She used to walk a mile first to the highway to get the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Then she used to get on the bus,
Yeah.
ride into New York, ride back, and then off the bus a mile back to the house.
Oh my gosh. That's
And
a
that
long
woman
day.
lived 108.
Yeah.
And stood on her feet because in the fabric industry she was a draper, so she draped the fabrics on the mannequins.
Yes.
So that's all on your feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
When did she stop working? I mean, did she work?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
she worked on in years. I don't know what her
yeah.
age was,
But quite
yeah.
well into her. Yeah. So you got genetics that are in your
yeah.
favor.
Hopefully I got her genetics. That's good.
Yeah.
108, and she was never sickly. She never saw a hospital.
Well, what kind of foods did you make your family when you were growing up, and what
Same average stuff, I guess. Yeah.
like pasta and
whatever.
And
Yeah.
what meat and
vegetables,
fish,
fruits.
vegetable fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you walk for exercise, or do you walk your kids?
Well, having
or
6 kids, I walked enough. But now I do walk.
Yeah.
I've kept that up. I like that. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Because I think, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's a true fact.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
and then your
and I got
mind
my little
is
bike over there. See that?
yes, that's a little
I pedal that while I watch TV.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have to keep moving.
Yeah.
So it's good.
And your mind is sharp too. You're very,
Well, maybe
with it.
my children dispute that, but
Yeah.
I say something they don't agree with. Mom, you're losing. I say, I'm not losing. I know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and you don't have any siblings to compare it to, but that's something that you do see, and they have different theories with dementia and the aging brain, and ways that you can keep your mind active by making those muscles and thoughts, puzzles and word things, and different ways that you can keep your brain. And of course, good nutrition for your brain. There's different diets and things, but you really haven't done anything super special. You're just kind of doing, and like cholesterol and blood pressure, things like that. Is that managed or okay?
Yeah,
for
it's
you?
managed, because when I get checked for anything, there's nothing that's screaming.
Yeah,
so that's
good for you.
A little fat could go away, but
yeah.
not when you like to eat. You know what I mean?
Did you like to cook? Was that a
I love
love
to
thing?
cook.
Yeah,
I still do.
Yeah.
But when I was getting that physical for something not too long ago, so I said to the doctor, well, I'll go along with everything, but I don't like that thing that's standing there. He said, oh, you mean the scale? He said, we'll take care of that in a minute or two. I said, I don't think you heard what I said.
Yeah.
He says, I know. Everybody comes in here doesn't like that little thing that stands there.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I said, see, that number's not too good.
Just blame it on gravity. Everything's getting more dense, so it weighs more, right?
I said, I don't like that thing over there. He said, well, it could be corrected a little bit, but I'm not concerned about it. So I said, as long as I'm not a blimp. So.
Well, I think that there is a change in your body. I mean, you see it with middle-aged men going forward and postmenopausal women, that there's just a different distribution of fat and different. Yeah. You just can't really change that. It's what naturally happens.
You get older, it goes in the wrong place.
Yeah. So then what about, like, how did you handle stress? Like, another thing that ages you is stress, and the people that are in careers, high stress. You mentioned your daughter's an attorney, like working crazy hours and stuff. That will take away your life, and you don't sleep, you're running on coffee or adrenaline. That can take away your ages and years.
Yeah,
were you a relaxed lifestyle? Would you say balanced, or I mean,
mostly I would say. Yeah. I don't recall stress taking over me like.
Right. And not being able to handle, oh my God, I have all these kids, and I'm going to start drinking.
But
or something.
I think you always have some stress. That's everyday life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to say it's taken over me, no.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had a good backbone if you were involved in the church, that you had a spiritual life, that, you just kind of kept that path forward, focus. Grateful, those things that happen when you're involved with a faith.
And I think, too, that you need to look more of the good things and the positive things, not just always the negative. Negative is always there. It will be.
Yes.
But if you concentrate on that, you soon be like, ugh.
Right.
Right.
It can bring
who
you
even
down.
wants to be in your company? You know, like you're so down.
Well, you do seem very positive, Audrey, and that's one thing I would say that I joke with friends that are older, and I won't say exactly who, but they'll just go, grouchy, complaining about the world changing and these young people and this and that, and then when you think about it, it's almost like the grouchy old man next door when you were a kid in the neighborhood that was get off my lawn, and it's like, well, like, why not be more open and positive instead of like, my life's almost over and I'm just a bitter person that's resentful of certain things or regrets.
That's all they concentrate on. There's always a negative.
Do you have any regrets or things that, like, you wished you would have done when you were younger or anything?
I suppose there were some in the past, but I don't dwell on that kind of thing. I have a friend who says, I wish, this and that. I said, you spend your life wishing? It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened, so forget it. She said, I wish I could have done that. Well, we all have those kind of wishes in some things. But don't dwell on it. I'm thankful for my health and strength at this age. And I thank the Lord every day for that. I do.
That's awesome.
91, and I'm rather healthy. don't do doctors. Well, I mean, you know,
A physical,
for this
just a
or,
check.
yeah, the checkups, yeah, and that kind of stuff.
But
so.
you've not been in a hospital or had procedures or surgeries or like kind of
No, I had a
breaking down.
hysterectomy a long time ago, but
Yeah.
that's because the bladder wanted to relocate itself.
Oh yeah, that,
So
my
it
mother
drops.
had one too.
Yeah.
I think there's different things that sag and
Yeah.
different. Yeah,
So,
you gotta tighten,
in
tighten
fact,
things
I was
up.
kidding the doctor. He said, "Well, you know, the bladder dropped a little bit." I said, "When you dropped, it doesn't have its home anymore." He said, "No, but we're going to give it a new one. Don't worry about it." I said, "Well, make it permanent. I don't want to drop it again."
Yeah, yeah,
So, but other than that, no, I've had no surgeries. Thank you, Lord.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
So.
And so tell me just a little bit about your lifestyle now and what you kind of have looking forward to the future. Any trips or plans, or just kind of, you know, this community that you've been in. So that's kind of one of my questions. And then, like, when did you move from New Jersey down to Florida? Would be maybe the first question. All your
I
kids
guess
were in New Jersey. You were up in New Jersey.
Yeah. And then they suddenly all became residents of Florida, you know, one by one.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Ron moved first, then Greg, and then let's see, and then Brian shortly after that, I guess. And my daughter and son-in-law have been here maybe 2 years in Tampa. Yeah, and that's about it. They're all located here.
And they came down for the weather and get away from
yeah.
Jersey
And
in
so it's
cold
nice,
winters.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
You kind of followed them down.
yeah, yep.
You and
So,
Fred.
Yeah.
Came down
yeah.
together.
And then he's gone 7 years.
7 years?
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been 2017.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And was
So-
he ill? Was it a sudden passing, or was he?
He
lingering?
was getting ill, and then finally he had cancer, so that finally took him. But you
Yeah.
know, which was for the best at that time because he was really beginning to suffer. and
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he was at home, so that was good. Yeah.
That's nice.
So
Yeah, and you're still here in the house. You didn't move anywhere from Florida. This is the first house you came to, Lakewood Ranch. And
Yeah.
so it's a mixed community. It's not a
Yeah.
retirement community. You
No,
have different
no.
neighbors,
Yeah.
people that are
In fact,
working.
our little kids next door, every once in a while I hear them hollering. So I said to the mom the other day, she said, "Oh," I said, "Send them over to me. I like to hear them." She said, "Good, I'll make a note of that. You can have them all."
Wow.
So, but anyway, yeah, it's a good community. I like it because it's mixed. We have old, we have young, we have middle-aged.
Good question, 'cause-
all in this area.
So you don't think you would prefer to be just with 55 and older in a 55 and older community?
My kids have been saying to me lately, "Mom, you know, are you thinking about how long you can be able to stay in this house?" I said, "No, I'm not thinking about it."
Yeah.
I said, "When it happens, it'll happen. But, well, we have to make plans." I said,
Where would you
"What-
go? Like, what would you prefer?
Yeah.
What?
So, in fact, my daughter was talking to me about it over the weekend. She said, "I'd like you to come up here, Mom, and be in this area because, well, it's my only daughter."
The daughter, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably be the one.
So I said, "Well,
more.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it." But they said they like to see me in a place where there's people because I'm a
Yeah.
people person.
Right.
They said, you know, you don't
Right.
want to stay alone in a house.
No.
So I said, "No,
Yeah.
but I'm not crossing that bridge just yet."
Right, right.
So-
Yeah.
So think about it. That's
Yeah.
what they're telling me. Think about it.
Yeah, think
I
about
said,
it.
I can think about it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to budge. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, the day will come. Come on, I'm 91, so,
Yeah.
you know.
But you're in such great health now, and you know.
Yeah,
you
and I'm
just,
very grateful and thankful, and I'm thinking the day is
Yeah.
going to come. I won't be able to stay here anymore, you
Yeah.
know, by myself. Well,
Right.
now I have Brian living here, and so he's a big help, and he's a lot of fun. So at this point, I'm
Yeah.
not ready to make the move, but I know that's coming.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, because, hey, 91, as you get older, you
Yeah.
know.
Different. Yeah. You
Yeah.
have different things that happen that we didn't expect, but yeah. So, but how wonderful, and to you can cook, you can walk, you can see your
Yeah.
friends. Are you driving still?
No,
No.
they took my car away.
Yeah. Okay.
That
So
wasn't nice.
Well, I know it's a hard decision. I heard from friends that
Yeah.
have said, we finally took Mom's keys. We were like, and we just prefer. It's reflexes. It's things you can't help, and it's the other people that if you can't get out of their way because they're being crazy, then you're gonna.
Well, my
be injured.
insurance was coming due, and then my son Ron said to me, "Mom, I don't think you should be driving anymore. You know,
Yeah.
first of all, where are you going alone?
Yeah.
Well, it would be to church for all the things that take
Yeah.
place there." He said, "You know, the kids can take you there
Yeah.
or for whatever's coming up, but I
Yeah.
don't think you should drive anymore." So
Yeah.
I'm not being stubborn.
Yeah,
know. I
you
said,
were okay with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said, "All right, I don't like it,
Yeah.
you know."
Yeah.
But anyway, they were kidding me, "What are you going to drive? There's nothing in the garage." I said, "I'm going to get a horse."
Yeah. There you go. Oh
They
my
said,
goodness.
"Yeah, we could just see you going down the highway on the horse. Oh, they'll be
Yeah.
putting us all away."
Yeah. Oh my
So,
goodness.
But
Yeah.
no, so I don't have the car anymore. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But you have what you need.
And if I have to go anyplace, there's everybody. My son Brian lives here, so I mean, he takes me anywhere that I have to go.
That's
So
good.
yeah, like I hurt my shoulder, and so I have therapy. I still have that, but he takes me all the time. Twice a week I go for that. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
other than that, and then my neighbor across the street said, "Hey, when you want to go to the store, just shout. We'll
Yeah.
go together."
Oh,
So, but
very
I
nice.
don't really need to do that because with Brian here, he
Yeah.
gets whatever
Right.
we need and whatever.
Right.
But I mean, it's nice that
Yeah.
they think of you that way. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think those are most of my questions. I guess just kind of in finishing up, I'm just thinking with your relationship with Mary Lou, once you got married and you were there, and then Mary Lou met Albert and, you know, was up in Boston, like, how did you maintain that relationship? Did you write letters? Did you talk on the phone?
On the phone a lot, yeah, because I called and hollered at her. I said, "How dare you move way up there?" So
Yeah.
she said, "Well, how dare you move way down there where you are?" So
Oh.
we used to go back and forth. But yeah, and we talked on the phone a lot.
Did you get to visit each other or not? 'Cause
At the beginning, we did, but then it
life-
just didn't work out anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
life got busy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we talked a lot, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And did you know when she got sick? Had you heard from the relatives?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Well, at the beginning, they told me she wasn't doing well, and then, you know,
Yeah,
that was not good.
yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
83 when she was diagnosed, and then 86. But you know, just I love my name. I remember there's a comic book, Little Audrey. Remember that there was a comic book, Little Audrey, from the 50s, I think.
Could
but
be now that
but
you're saying
so
that.
and then Audrey Hepburn. But then I know I was named after you, Audrey, my mother's cousin, and here are the two Audreys.
Yeah, how
So
about that?
we'll have to call this interview the two Audreys.
Yeah, and that's something?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well-
I remember saying to my mother, "Audrey, whose name is Audrey?" She said, "That's a beautiful name. What's the matter? My middle name is Lois." So she said, "That's a beautiful name. Why are you not liking it?" I said, "Nobody likes their name." So she said, "Yes, you should like it because that's a nice name."
How did she pick it for you? Do you remember? Did she
She
ever
said
say?
from a book she read.
Oh,
It was called Audrey.
oh,
I said, "I'm
interesting.
named after a book?"
Yeah.
That's like-
My daughter, I actually named her after a cookbook, Marcella Hassan.
Oh,
The Art of
I love
Italian
her.
Cooking,
Yeah, oh,
Marcella, yeah. But Audrey, I looked it up once, and it said the root of it is from Ethrelda. It was like noble birth or nobility. You can look up the roots of certain names. So Audrey was kind of from the nobles, and
Oh.
yeah. So
And
there you
that's
go.
where my mother got it because she was born in Rome,
Yeah.
but she lived with her grandparents in Rome. She had one sister. My mom lived with the grandparents in Rome, who were the aristocrats.
Oh, really?
And her sister lived with the other grandparents who were from the farming
Okay.
country. So they were like two opposites.
Oh.
My mother had the maid that used to comb her hair.
Oh.
That kind of
Oh,
wealth.
yes.
Yeah. And actually, it was, I think, very difficult for my mom because she went from the kind of nothing, I shouldn't say nothing, that's not a good term, but her parents were average,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Well, then when she went to live with the grandparents, because I don't know what the parents were doing, but my mom had to go to one set of grandparents, her sister to the other one. Her sister went to the farming people.
Oh, yeah.
My mother went to the aristocrats, and
Right.
she had that high level of living, and I think after a while that really destroyed my mother. because later on in years she had a nervous breakdown, and the doctors told my father, well, mostly my father, but I was there, that adjustment she could never make.
To just ho-hum
From
life.
the ritzy to
do
like
it yourself.
Average life.
Yeah.
And that affected her mentally. She could not handle that. I mean, we didn't know that at the time, but
Right.
that was the reason, because she suffered from depression after that. And so
Right.
that's got to be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, from this to go high is nice.
It's nice.
But from not high to this is not
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So I
Do you
think-
remember episodes as a child about
Yes,
her?
I do,
Yeah.
because for a while she had to go to a mental hospital because she got bad there for
Yeah.
a while, but that
Yeah.
was short-lived, thankfully,
Yeah.
because my dad took me there to see her, and I said, I don't want to go to that place. I don't want
Yeah.
to go. He said, it's your mother. She's looking for you. You have to go.
Oh,
Yeah, and it broke
Yeah.
my heart. I didn't want to go, no how, no way.
yeah.
But I did, you
Yeah.
know, but it's a memory I'll never forget either.
Yeah.
You don't want to see your mother like that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. How
But-
old were you at the time? Do you remember?
High school.
Yeah. Okay. But still, it's
Yeah. It's your
someone-
mother.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that you
And
look
at
up
that
to.
time, she was in the mental hospital for a while, but it was not when they separated people. So you had people screaming their heads
Yeah.
off. When I said to my father, I don't want to go there anymore. He said, you have to. Your mother's looking for you.
Yeah.
She doesn't know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
but
gosh.
anyway.
Yeah. Well.
But we get through
Yeah.
good
You
things
can't
in
kind of-
life and not good things in life.
Right.
You know?
And you can't choose how you come into this world, but you can choose how you're living in it. There's a wonderful movie, Cabrini, that just came out that is about an Italian immigrant, a strong woman that's a nun, and I just saw it recently, and that was a line, something about I'm a survivor, and she became a nun and went to New York and helped orphans and poor people and built hospitals and orphanages. But like, you can't really choose your past, but you can do the best you can with what you have. And it sounds like that's what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Audrey.
And life goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. I'm so glad that you took the time today here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. And the date today is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2024, with Audrey and Audrey, the interview.
How about that?
Yeah. All right.
That's special.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Just in time.
How about that?
Yep.
Timed it just
we were
right.
kind of on low battery, so close, stop,